All right, so this week we are going to be doing cross contour still lifes that are non-elliptical. That means anything that you have, not necessarily um, cylinders or elliptical objects. Okay, so I'm going to do this quick still life of mannequin and some toys. And notice I start really light and loose, just kind of laying out the composition. Um, and it doesn't have to be too detailed at this point. I just want to kind of lay out the composition and get all of my objects in place. And then I come back and define those shapes just with the contour lines. And I'm looking at my negative space to make sure like the space between the body and the arm is correct, and I'm looking at relationships, both height and width, um, and so just kind of coming in, and I like to work from top to bottom, so my hand is not rubbing things below too much, um, and then I'm coming in and kind of defining my lines with a ruler for straight objects and trying to make sure that I get my perspective correct, and now I can kind of add more detail. These don't have to be too detailed. I'm really just looking to see that you get your angles and your shapes correct, and really have the composition correct, so things that are overlapping show that they're in front, and so adding these cross contour lines, um, but really kind of nice and free and flowing. I try to, do one continual line for each, and just showing the different directions each object's going. Adding some lines to the table and the back wall to show that perspective and which angle that they're going to. I based those lines actually off of the straight lines I had on the truck to kind of find where my vanishing point would lead back to. And then just going in and getting the curves, and that's all I'm looking for is just lines, no shading. So this next one I'm going to do some fruits and vegetables, and so these shapes, are very organic, but you see I come in lightly, lay it out. I'm going to go back over each object a few times, just kind of building up those lines a little bit more each time. And it's fine to have quick and loose lines. That's actually what I'm looking for, is to get you to draw a little faster, a little looser, and freer. Try to use your elbow a little bit more and less of your fingers and your wrist. And so I come back, and now I can kind of like pick out the shape a little bit more, and try to show that curve. That's curves in both directions, both vertical and horizontal. Um, and with the apples here, I'm trying to show that curve down into where the stem would come out. With this plate, I'm showing that the lines kind of lead back down towards the middle. And with the garlic, I want to show like each clove, so I'm kind of making curves for each individual clove of garlic, and or bulb of garlic. So um, just come back and redefine the lines after you've done it once, and then you see I'm coming back over the squash again. I'm coming back over the apples again, and there you have it. Just very simple, not too detailed. Um, all right, so I'm going to do this baseball mitt and hat. I'm actually going to add a ball to it. I don't have a ball handy, but I use the masking tape roll as a guide. A sphere is going to be round no matter what angle you're looking at it, and and just kind of defining the lines, starting very light and then building them up. kind of deciding exactly where each object is. Here things aren't as like perfect, right? They're shaped in different ways, so you're going to need to kind of show that curve and build that form with these kind of more organic lines. And now I'm coming back and kind of redefining the shapes with contour and using ink to kind of highlight the most prominent contour lines. I'm going to use two different pens, one a little thicker for the contour and then a lighter weight pen for the cross contour. And just coming in and really kind of picking out the best shapes that I drew early, adding a little detail, so the stitches in the ball, and all of the laces in the mitt, stitches in the hat, and so forth. And then coming in and now these cross contour lines, they're going to be very loose. They need to show folds and bends and curves in such a way that it looks as realistic as you can get it. And here are some student examples from last semester. Um, just try to keep it quick and loose. Show objects that maybe represent you, your favorite pair of shoes, and anything that is not elliptical. You can have some ellipses, but the majority of the objects need to be organic shaped, and so fruits and vegetables, toys, sculptures, some clothes, hats, sunglasses. All these things can go into this still life.